Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. Today, I'm going to show how to configure LDAP integration to pull users and groups from Active Directory. Let's get started. Log into your personal instance or customer instance. To set up LDAP integration, type LDAP in the filter navigator. Under System LDAP application, you have Create New Server. Okay, click on Create New Server. So you need to create a new server record. So you need to have some basic details to create a new LDAP server record. Let's see what are those details. Type of LDAP server, Active Directory, it is by default. Server name. You can give server name anything as you like or anything as your company defined. So I will give my log. Okay. Next, server URL. So this server URL will be provided by your AD team in your company. So now to practice, I have created my own AD in my own Windows server as a lab. So let's log into AD and get server URL. So here I have set up my own Windows server, and inside the Windows server I have set up my own AD. So let's see. Active. This is my own AD. Okay, and this is my domain. nsblog.com is a domain. So I need to get my domain controllers or domain IP. Okay, that is called nothing but a server URL. We need an IP of this domain. So how can we find in the local server? We can get our domain Ethernet ID. So this is my domain ID, okay, or domain controllers. Okay, 192.168.1.58 is my DC controller. Okay, so go back to your instance and give here 192.168.1.8. Okay, starting such directory. So what is this such starting such directory? What it means? Starting such directory means you need to give or you need to enter the relative distinguished name of the default such directory. For example, let me go back to AD. So, in AD, this is my starting such directory. Okay, this is my starting such directory. Under this directory, I have like computers, Snow, users, domain controllers, everything. So what is my starting such directory? nsblog.com starting such directory. Okay, let's go back to instance. In the starting such directory, you need to give dc is equal to nsblog, comma, dc is equal to com. Okay, this is my starting such directory and submit. It will automatically create a new LDAP server record. So it automatically created. Now what we need, okay? So to get connection successful, okay, we need to enter login distinguished name and login password. Okay, Remember this, you need to have at least a read roles of read role user, okay? So you need to give here login distribution name and login password of that user. And that user should have a read roles, at least minimum read roles, okay? So I have one user called no log, okay? And password, okay? And save it. Now connection is now we got the server operation status is false. Verify server address and port are correct and accessible. This is the error we got. So now this is not in the same domain. So that's the reason we need to use a mid server. Okay. So I have already configured a mid server on my particular Windows server. Okay. So what is that server name? So this is the server name I have configured and the status is up. You can see. Okay, let's select this one and save it. Okay, so we need to remove the listener first and then add a mid server and save it. Okay, please stop the listener first. Okay, so we need to stop listener first. Okay, stop listener and give mid server details. Save it. And now we'll see test connection. Now we connected successfully. Okay, let's reload. So now you can see the connection is successful, and when the connection is successful, you can see the green mark here. And the active is true, and operation status is automatically set to true. Okay, so the basic details is you need to have some user credentials from AD, which is having at least read roles. And a mid server in the AD should be installed. Okay, so without the mid server can be installed, but it should be in same domain. Okay, so now we will see advanced options like attributes. What are attributes? For example, in AD users record, you have like first name, second name, last name, okay, or department, or language, country, address. All those are called attributes. So you can write attributes like whatever it is required in your company or whatever required for your practice. Okay. So for now, I will not add any attributes because we are not pulling many users. We don't have many users, so that's the reason. If you have many users and if you are pulling all the attributes, then it causes some performance and issues. Okay, so that's the reason you need to add attributes. What is required in your organization? Okay, so as a comma separated, like name, comma, email, comma, like this. You need to provide attribute names like this. Okay. What is connection timeout? So number of seconds before a timeout on connection request. Okay. For example, if you don't get within 10 seconds, you don't get any connection. Okay. So then it will throw a connection timeout. Okay, or read timeout, number of seconds before a timeout on read request. For example, you are sending a read request on the AD, so you did not get any response within 10 seconds, then you will get a read timeout. Okay. What is a listener and listener interval? Okay, these two are interrelated. What is listener? For example, um, if you are pulling the user's data from AD every day, like on particular time, like every morning 8 a.m. or 6 a.m. or something, you are pulling the data. Okay. So meanwhile, if any user is added into AD or any user parameters are updated, okay. So then you won't get update records until the scheduled job runs. Okay. So what happens if you select listener? Listener, if you select listener, for every 5 minutes, it starts listening to your AD. So if there are any update on the user record or any user record created, so automatically pulls that record, okay, from AD to your ServiceNow instance and update the user record in the ServiceNow. Okay, that is the help of listener. I will show you later how this listener works as a practical demo. Okay, paging. For example, if you don't select the paging, so what happened paging? Use LR paging service for getting results. For example, if you send a request, so all these requests will come in a single page. So if the data is large, then it won't fetch all the results at a time. So it will send multiple requests to the AD. So if you select paging here, what happens instead of sending multiple requests in single request only, you will get the result into as a pages. Okay, so at a time. So that helps when you have large number of records per page. Okay, let's save it. So after creating LDAP server record, so under LDAP OU definition, it's automatically created from by the system. Okay, so what details you need, like users, groups, computers. So it is automatically, for example, users and groups are automatically created by the system. Okay, so users, click on users. Okay, okay. Before going into LROU definitions, I will so check if you are able to go back. Check if you are able to see AD data in your instance or not. How you can check? Click on browse. Click on browse. Okay, and after browse, click on plus symbol on the LDAP node. So now you can see all the details like CN is equal to user, CN is equal to system, okay, OU is equal to snow, all these things. Under OU is equal to snow, I have created um, some users like dummy users or groups and users, okay. Under OU is equal to snow and OU is equal to users, okay. Under OU is equal to users, I have created some dummy users. Okay. Under OU is equal to groups, I have created some. I have created some groups like snow group one, snow group two. Now what we are going to do? We are pulling the users records first, and then we are pulling the group records. Okay. Let's see. Go back now. Okay, under OU definitions, so for example, for users, you are pulling the data. Okay, under OU definition, you need to give RDN. What is this RDN? Okay, relative distinguished name to process. Okay. For example, uh, in your AD or in your organization AD, you need to ask your AD team that where are users located in AD, under which OU. For example, our lab OU, in our lab OU, all our users stores. For example, I created a snow OU. Okay, like snow OU, we created a groups and users. Okay, under OU is equal to snow, I created a group and users. Under OU is equal to snow and OU is equal to users. Okay, we created some users. So for example, what will be the RDN for my users? Okay, OU is equal to, for example, um, if you go if you don't have access to the RD AD team, how can you find the OU of your users? For example, you can go to your browser. Okay, OU details. Go back. Okay, go back. Click on browse. Click on browse. Expand the LDAP nodes. Okay, OU is equal to snow. OU is equal to users. Click on any user. And you will see all the attributes here. And also you can see the distribution name. So our OU is like this one. Okay, OU is equal to users and OU is equal to snow. This is the RDN for our users. Okay, copy this one and go back to our LDAP server under OU users. Okay, go back, paste the copied OU. Okay, here and save it. Okay, this filter is automatically created by ServiceNow. Okay, if it is not available in your instance, you can get it from the editing. That object classes person means that you are pulling only the user records, not a group or computer records, anything. Okay, so now check, click on browse, and you will click on browse, and now you will see only the user records, not all the records from the AD. Okay, click on tab notes. So now you can see the users which I created, like 4 users I created. So I can see the 4 users. Okay. Now our goal is how can we get all these users and store in the users table. That is our goal. Okay. Let's go back. So under LDAP OU definitions, you have already data source, which is automatically created called names of block users. Okay, and it is automatically created a LDAP import staging table. Okay, copy this one. Okay, and go to the table. So you can see the node records here inserted. Okay, so now open this data source. Data source is automatically created by default and with the imports a table name LDAP import. This is automatically created by system. Okay. So under this, you have a transform map which is automatically created. And let's open this one. LDAP user import. Okay. So what it does in the transform maps. Um, so it is active and run business rules. Okay. and run script. In the run script, what it will do? LDAP utils set manager source comma target. That means it sets manager automatically. Okay. LDAP server target LDAP server means it will set LDAP server. That means for example, if we have multiple ADs or multiple LDAP servers are connected to your system, then particular user record it belongs to which LDAP server. So to get more information on from which LDAP server the user is coming, so it will add automatically. Okay, and the below already the field maps already created like a SAM account, username, email, location, source, first name, last name, title. Okay, and the SAM account name is unique, so go ahead set to true. Okay, so now we will see. Um, uh, we will run this transform map and see uh, the users are created in our system or not. For example, let me show you users. For example, no user one. So we don't have this user. Okay. And let's pull this user records like all the snow one, snow user one, snow user two, all these records. Okay. Let's see how to do that. Go back now. Mm, Go back from here. So first we will try to load test load. Okay, it is loading or not, we will see. Okay, try to load 20 records. Test load, that means it will not update your user's record. We will see, and it is waiting for mid server to respond. So there are four records are there. Okay, four records. You can see in the imports table, four records are created. Okay, so this will not, if you run transform map, it will not load into the users table because it's a test load. Okay, now go back again. Now go back again and load all records now. Now we will load all the records from that OU. So waiting for mid server to respond. Okay. Record metadata loaded. Let's wait for some time to process it. Okay, process for record. Now click on run transform map. This we created already transform map. It is already created. So we need to run this transform map. Click on transform. It is completed. Click on transform history to check. So four records are inserted. Okay, let's see this user record table and refresh it. So now you can see the snow user one, snow user two, name main one, name main two, other user records are created. Let's open snow user one. So check all these details like first name, last name, okay, title, okay, department we don't map, okay, calendar, email address, what is the email address? So everything is populated, and you can see LDAP server. And source, you can see the source is not fully mapped. Okay, so source is not fully mapped because it's a tested, cutted value. So you need to increase the dictionary size of this source to get all this one. Okay, configure dictionary. It is already set to 255. It is which is maximum. Okay, let's see. Let's convert into 255. Okay. No need. Okay. Close it. Close this one and go to the import set table and click on any record. Open the record. Now you can see the source is cut. Okay. So that's the reason it is click on configure dictionary. So if there are more text, then you need to increase for example 255 something, okay, and update it. Okay, in the next load it will update. Okay, it will update all these records. For example, if any source is cutting and you need to for example distribution name also is not fully, so this also you need to increase to. Okay, now let's see. Now go back again. Go back again. Go back. Okay. Now go back. Back. Now click again. Load all records. It's taking time. Okay. Now click on Run Transform. Click on Transform. Now directly go to the users table. Reload it. Now open this user one. So now to load data, every time I am clicking like load all data, right? So without this, what we need to do is we need to schedule this. So it will run automatically every day at morning hours, which is not a peak time. Okay. So how can we schedule? In the schedule loads, in the schedule loads, so the user imports is already automatically created. So what we need to do is open this record, click on active, and you need to set the time like when we need to run, like every 1 hour, 1 a.m. we need to run this one or something like that. Okay. Now, for example, let's delete this user record. Okay. For example, let's delete this user record and see like no user one if I'm deleting. Okay. Delete. Go to the users. No user one is not there. Okay. No user one is not. And now run this, execute this one. So wait for some time and check in the user's records. No user one, like no user one will be automatically created. See, this is automatically created. So you can see that just now it is created. Okay, and you can see that all the fields are mapped. I have added manager field on the user's form. Okay, but for this record, there is no manager is populated. Let's see why it is not populated. Okay, let's check into the LDAP import table, LDAP underscore import dot list. Let's see manager data is populated on in the import table or not. So open this record, maybe snow user one, okay, snow user one. Let's open this record. and see the manager attribute is populated or not. Where is the manager attribute? Uh, in the import set, we don't get any managers because for this user, there is no manager in the AD. So I just added the manager for this users, no user one. Let's see a manager is coming for this user or not. Okay. Let's see in the LDAP OU definitions. Okay. Click on browse. Select Snow User 1. See manager is there or not. Okay, so you got the manager. Okay, now check in LDAP import table. So before going to that, go back, go back. Now go to the data source. Again, load all record. Try to load all records. Okay, run the transform map. Transform. Okay, go to the import set. Go to the users table and reload it. So there is no manager is populated. Okay, now go to the import set table and check there is a manager attribute or not. So there is a manager attribute. Okay, so add into the list. So you can see the user one, the manager attribute is it's trimmed. So now open this record. Now open this record. Go to the manager attribute. Find manager attribute here. I don't find here. So configure form layout. Add manager attribute to the list view. I mean, in the form. Okay, under state address or somewhere. Now increase the size of the manager dictionary, I mean field value to 255. Okay, 55. Update it. Now go to the schedule loads. Click on user import. Execute now. Now see this manager attribute will be populated. Let's see. Reload the record. See, now the manager attribute is populated. Name. Okay. So this is how you need to get the users data, and this is how you need to populate the managers data. Okay. Now we will try to get groups data. Okay. Go to the LDAP servers. Name is blog, no blog. In the groups, when the groups, give the RDN value. you know how to search the RDN value or how to get the RDN value. If you don't know the RDN value of the group, please ask your AD team or someone. Okay, so you know what is our group like GRO group. Let's check in AD. Okay, what is the group for you? So groups. Okay, GROUPS groups. Okay, let's go back to our instance. You need to add S. Okay, the object class is group. Okay, and save it. So now browse. Let's see we are getting the groups data or not. Okay, I already created two groups called Snow Group 1, Snow Group 2. Okay, let's go back now. Go to the data source. So data source is already created. This is the group LDAP group import is the staging table. Okay, now load all records. Click on, oh, okay, sorry. Let me cancel this one. I'll go back. Okay. Okay, go to the LDAP servers again. So on the data source, okay, LDAP transfer map is already created. Open this one. So all it is automatically created. It's out of the box transform map. LDAP utils. You are setting manager field, set manager, everything like group name, description. So everything you are setting. Okay. So what we need to do is go back. Let's try to load the data. Load all the waiting for mid server to respond. Okay, two records are inserted. Now click on Run Transform Map. Transform. Okay, go to the transform history. Okay, two records are inserted. Let's see the groups table and see snow group are created or not. They are created. Let's open the snow group one. So you got the description, name, okay, and there is no group members here, okay, and the manager is not populated. Let's see why it is not populated. Okay, let's go back to uh, LDAP group import staging table, and let's see those records are created or not. Open. Okay, this is managed by. So it you can see it is trimmed again. So you need to increase the size of the managed by 255 and update. And the member also, you can see the member configure dictionary. You need to increase the size to 4,000 because if there are a lot of group members, so then it will not capture. So that's the reason. Okay, now we will see. We will try to run from the schedule loads again. Schedule LDAP schedule loads. Okay, type LDAP and schedule loads. Open the groups import schedule load and click on execute now. And let's see these groups. Okay, open the group one now. Now see the manager is populated and you got the members. In this group, we have only one member. Okay, let's do one thing. In the group one, remove the user one, snow user one, and add snow user two as a member. Okay, in the AD. And let's see what happened. Okay, in AD, go to the AD. So, click on groups, snow group one, properties. And here in the members list, remove this user and add snow user 2. Snow user 2. Okay, and OK. Apply and OK. Now go back to your instance. Now in the instance again, run the groups import load. Before running this, go to the group 1. Snow group 1, you can see the group snow user 1, it is there. It will remove this and it will add snow user 2. Okay, now run this one. Okay, now refresh the groups. Now you can see snow user 1 is changed, is removed, and snow user 2 is added. So that is in that way you need to pull the groups and group members. Even if there is a group email, you can configure this in the transform map to pull the group email also. Okay, that's about how LDAP integrations works to pull the data from AD, like users data or groups data or any data, whichever you have in AD, you can pull all these things by giving the RDN and uh, proper filters. Okay. Please do subscribe to get alerts for upcoming videos. Hope you will enjoy and learn ServiceNow. Thank you very much for your time.